Rivers made his Colts debut on Sunday versus the Seattle Seahawks, the best defense in the NFL, and we almost won. Our defense let up in the end. We're going to talk about it. But first, I play a song right here. Today, Phillip Rivers press conference.
What were your emotions throughout this game and then now?
Grateful. Running out for warm-ups and all that, and out there for the anthem. And as the game just got going, I was just thankful, grateful that I was out there. And it was a blast. But obviously the emotions now are disappointment, right? Disappointment. This isn't about me. We had a team that was scrapping like crazy to try to stay alive and get in the postseason. So obviously we're all disappointed. Came up just short. The game kind of played out almost kind of how we thought it was going to play out in terms of how we were going to win the game. Kind of one of those grinded out kind of games. And we didn't find a way to get it done. Is the bottom line. We did a lot of things really well on both sides of the ball. And obviously Blake unbelievable kicking the football all game. But just some of us in there talking now is, we got to win. I'm speaking offensively. If I can, stay healthy, like I feel good, and it's going to get better as we go. But the catch in that is we got to win. It doesn't really matter if it's getting better as we go if we don't win, because it's going to be over in 3 weeks. So,
because I feel like him in his press conferences and the way that he speaks is very honest. And he said, we're gonna run the down football. We did in fact do that. We lose this game 18-16, nail biter at the end. I don't know why we have undrafted free agents out of Tulane named Jonathan Edwards on Raheed Shaheed at the end of the game when it matters with 40 seconds left. Don't know why we did that. Our defense was lights out this whole game, kind of other than that. But, you ruin it. And Phillip Rivers did what he could do. He did as well as he could do. And what was we would expect him to do. The interception at the end, it was what it was. But, when the Seahawks kick a 57-yard field goal and we kick a 60-yard field goal, it's just, what can you do about that? You can stop them. I don't understand why in the last 40 seconds, Lou and Romo decided, let's play 10 yards off of him, and let's play Jonathan Edwards, who, again, is an undrafted rookie out of Tulane. Let's just put him on, probably the guy they're going to pass the football to. Didn't make any sense. That's what happened, though. And we lost this game by 2 points. Great kicking in this game. Phillip was definitely limited. But when, we got down to the field goal, and our field goal kicker made it. And so did the Seahawks. Myers, that was his name, I believe. We threw a touchdown. Phillip Rivers threw a touchdown. No touchdowns by the Seahawks. Great defensive effort until the last 40 seconds for some reason. I don't know why we played 10 yards off the ball. I don't know why we have Jonathan Edwards on, a guy who's going to catch the pass that's pretty much going to put them into field goal range. I don't know why we do either one of those things. But they both happen. We're up 13-3 at half. And very strong offensive play. Great running by JT. But a 56-yard game-winning field goal with less than 18 seconds left clinched the game for Seattle. Rivers return at 44 years old. He came out of retirement to start for the Colts after obviously Daniel Jones gets injured. He completed 18 to 27 passes for 120 yards, a touchdown, and an INT on the final throw of the final drive. Rivers threw his first touchdown since 2021, a 8-yard strike to Josh Downs. And the Colts nearly pulled off a road upset before a late interception kind of ended the game, and that late drive by the Seahawks kind of ended the game too. kind of a decent, the best performance you could ask for from Phillip here. 120 yards, a touchdown, and of course that last INT. Did better than I was kind of expecting him to do. He still was clearly limited. He did fall down in that one pass or that one play, but did better than I kind of expected. And Sam Donald did a lot worse than I expected. He threw for a lot more yards, 271. He did spread the ball efficiently, but did not throw a touchdown. But he managed the game and set up all those kicks, so they won the game in the end. So he did enough. They had a historic performance from their kicker. Kicked 6 field goals, including the game winner. That's a franchise record. The Seahawks didn't score an offensive touchdown, but won thanks to Jason Myers' kicking. Seahawks bit, but they didn't break, especially in the second half. In that first half, we kind of had our way, but that second half, they kind of tightened it up a little bit. The Colts struggled to maintain momentum in the second half, despite early success. The Colts went ahead 16-15 with a 60-yard Blake Grupe field goal. What a kick. What a great kicking day from Blake Grupe. What a great kicking day from Blake Grupe. That's all I got to say. Seahawks answered immediately with a fast 56-yarder by Jason Myers. And again, the final play, Rivers' passes tipped and intercepted, ending any chance of a comeback there. The Colts do fall to 8-6, and that ends, that's 4 straight losses. And while the Seahawks improve at 11-2 and continue a strong playoff push. We had the story of the game is Phillip Rivers and his first touchdown since 2021. And the kicking. Our defense was good up until that last kind of moment there. Colts must regroup and keep playoff hopes alive through December and the stretch, and the Seahawks carry momentum into key divisional matchups. Real quick, we're gonna look at what the Colts. Oh, actually, before I do that, let me say this. The Colts, in this last drive that they went on, not the one where Phillip Rivers threw the interception, not that one. Brother, I'm talking about the last defensive drive when decided to play 10 yards off the ball, decided to play this shell, this cover 3, probably 4, this cover 8, maybe, I don't even know, like watching rush 3, I think, and kind of dropped everyone back, let them have big wide open spaces in the field, and we kind of let Jonathan Edwards be out there for some reason, guarding these key players in this key matchup. Obviously you don't leave Jigba alone, but you at least put undrafted rookies out of Tulane are not good ideas to trust your last drive defensively on. It's just probably not a very good idea. Phillip Rivers did better than anybody could have expected, at least from me, because he sustained. We almost beat this team. We almost beat the number 1 defense in the league. Last Monday, whenever I recorded, I was down. I was saying, hey, season's over. I don't think the season's over. We were so close to beating this team. If our O-line can play the way they did again, and our defense can just make like 2-3 more plays, we win this game. We can certainly beat the Niners. If we can stop Christian McCaffrey, that's going to be hard, but we'll get into that. We could certainly beat the Niners. That's going to be a tough game, though. Yeah, we'll have a whole show about the San Francisco 49ers game. So let's say we beat the Niners. It's on Monday Night Football, okay? Then we play the Jacksonville Jaguars, our divisional rival, one of them. We beat them, and then we're going to have probably a win-all game in Week 18 versus the Texans and another great defense. So it all starts with beating the 49ers on Monday Night Football. That's going to be tough. But I am encouraged. I can't lie to you guys. I am encouraged because Phillip Rivers, I thought, did a lot better than he could have done. I don't necessarily love the play calling at the end. I think some things need to go down. But I'm going to save all of my Chris Ballard and all of my Shane Steichen and all of my those talks for the after the season and after we win or lose these next couple of games. We can't really lose any. Let's look really quick at the Jaguars' upcoming schedule, because kind of matters. Obviously, they play us in 2 weeks, but past that, they play. Let me go back down here. So they play the Broncos. That's good. They play the Broncos at 4 on Sunday. So they could lose that game. The Broncos have won like 11 straight. I don't care if the Broncos win at this point. So they lose that game and then we beat them. We could be in the hunt. We could get in there. And then they play the Titans in Week 18, and that's going to be, honestly, almost a definite win for them. Unless the Titans just somehow, some way get very mad, which will be a tough, very, very tough game to do. Now let's see the Texans schedule. So they play the Raiders. Ooh, that's not good. So let's say they win that game. They play the Raiders, and then they play Chargers and us again. So they could lose to the Chargers, and us will get in and not them. Because we play 2 divisional people here. We played the last 2 weeks, Jaguars and them. So it'll be more divisional wins, and that way we'll get to the playoffs. In spite of them. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be a great game. But we have to. It all starts with winning the game next week, and that's going to be our discussion next week, obviously. Our defense played great, but it comes down to the last play that you make in the last minute. And whenever I said this 9 times, but whenever you have a guy who's an undrafted rookie free agent out of Tulane playing cornerback against Rashid Shaheed for the last play of the game, you can't expect, and you're playing 15 yards, 20 yards, you're letting them have a bunch. This is the Seahawks. I don't know who they thought they were playing. They were playing a great team, and they continue to play a great team. So if they want to do this, they got to start scoring touchdowns and not just field goals. They have to continue to protect Phillip Rivers as much as they did. That was great. The defense has to play like they did for the first 3 quarters and not like they did in the fourth quarter. And more than all that, they have to have an even better run game than they did, because our run game was good yesterday, but not great. And it needs to be great to make up for what Phillip Rivers kind of can't do. Okay. Now, I kind of a little bit surprised we didn't get Riley Leonard in there at all. I was kind of thinking that he would be in there, maybe for a couple of runs. We didn't end up doing that, which isn't the biggest deal, but I just kind of thought we would, you know. But I think maybe we do that a little bit next week. That might be a good idea against a beatable 49ers team, but still tough. Still a tough one. I think they're fighting for a playoff spot as well. All right. Currently, Jaguars have a 96% chance to make it, and the Texans have a 95%. We have a 17% chance. Let's look and see. Hold on. We really have to pretty much win out here and hope for a couple of losses from the Texans to really get in this thing. Yeah. But it's not impossible. The Texans do play. We just talked about that a second ago. They do play again the Raiders, the Chargers, and us. So maybe the Raiders can do something crazy. That would be nuts. I doubt that, though, so they'll probably win that. And then Chargers will be a tough game for them. And then we will probably play them for the AFC South if hopefully everything goes well. And Phillip Rivers can do something next week versus the 49ers. But let's move on to the rest of my teams. First, let's talk about the Pacers, who lost to the Washington Wizards last night. And what other do you say than just what a wash of a season? Hope for a lottery pick. Sucks, man. What a season we had last year, huh? But Kentucky, however, they beat IU, and it was about 12 points. I think a lot of people, maybe it was 72-60. We play St. John's 12:30 on Saturday, but Saturday. It's Monday. Dang, that's a while away. We don't play on Tuesday. But they're number 22. St. John's is ranked number 22. We can come in against St. John's and not shit the bed. I mean, we really we made more shots. We worked together more. I felt like the team was more. We hustle. We had more hustle. Like I felt before. They just lacked hustle. They lacked strength. They lacked, like, I don't understand what it was. They like kind of didn't give a shit. Maybe they acted like they could get away with a bunch of stuff. And I heard that over kind of the weekend that Mark Pope got mad, was breaking clipboards in the locker rooms. That's the report I read. I don't know if it's true, but I kind of got upset. Like, hey, we can't be doing this. We got to put more effort in, and it seemed like it worked. We beat a pretty decent Indiana team by 12, and hopefully we can come out against St. John's and do something as well, and kind of prove that just wasn't a one-game thing, and we can win again and again and again. So happy for Kentucky basketball. Hopefully we can continue to improve, and it's not just a one-game versus IU situation there. So in addition to just adding, head coach Will Stein, the former offensive coordinator of the Oregon Ducks, we also bring in former Texas A&M DC Jay Bateman to be our DC, and we add Houston's safeties coach Josh Christian Young and former Oregon assistant Tony Washington Jr. For DBs and stuff like that, with more coordinators and position coaches expected soon as Stein constructs his inaugural team. Excited for this next season of Kentucky football, and I haven't been in a long time. So, can Kentucky basketball turn it around? Can Kentucky football maybe come out somehow next year and do something? One can only hope. So that's it. I'm gonna give one more thing I want to talk about here. Look, Phillip Rivers isn't Superman, and he said that he can manage the football game and he can get us through. Will he be able to go 3-0 here and get us to the playoffs? I highly doubt it. But our defense put up some fight. Our offensive line put up some fight. Phillip Rivers did what he had to do. He was good enough in the end. But our defense could not hold, and he could not make that final pass. So it is what it is. We can look forward to next week. We can turn on the television next Monday night versus the 49ers, and we can see what happens. I think it'll be better. In my opinion, he got better a little bit as the game went on. A little more comfortable, and he even said that. We only had a few days of practice, so I can only get better, and he can. And I think that he will improve next week. Hopefully be able to move around just a little bit more. All we can do is wait and hope. So if you're a Colts fan and you're like, well, this season's over, just wait. I'm going to talk all off season about Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen. Don't worry. That's a conversation for another day. But just watch football for the next 3 weeks, because we won't have it. We won't have it for months until next August, probably after these 3 weeks, unfortunately. If we can go to the postseason, that'd be great. But we probably won't have it after the next 3 weeks. So just enjoy watching it. Enjoy what happens, win or lose. Just be a Colts fan. I appreciate you guys so much for watching. Bye-bye.